Hezbollah launched its first ever missile attack on central Israel today, and Florida residents are bracing for Tropical Storm Helene, which is expected to make landfall tomorrow as a Category 3 hurricane. Good morning, I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. The Israeli military says Hezbollah fired a ballistic missile toward Tel Aviv today. Hezbollah says it was aiming at the headquarters of Israel's spy agency. Israel has unleashed more airstrikes on southern Lebanon in the heaviest round of warfare between the two rivals in more than a year. Thousands of people are fleeing southern Lebanon. The United Kingdom says it's making preparations to evacuate British citizens. NPR's Lauren Freyer reports from London.
About 700 British troops are deploying to Cyprus, just off Lebanon's Mediterranean coast. They're preparing to receive British evacuees there, just as they did in the 2006 Israel-Hezbollah war. For more than a month, UK government guidance has been for Britons to leave Lebanon on commercial flights if they can. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is reiterating that, saying now is the time to leave. He also told the BBC that while he supports Israel's right to self-defense, he's urging restraint.
De-escalate, ceasefire, pull back from the brink.
Starmer's government recently suspended some arms exports to Israel. Lauren Freyer, NPR News, London.
Evacuations are underway in some counties along the Gulf Coast of Florida ahead of Tropical Storm Helene. It is expected to be a powerful hurricane when it makes landfall later this week. From member station WUSF, Carrie Sheridan reports residents are sandbagging in preparation.
It's only been a month and a half since Hurricane Debbie flooded Spencer Palmer out of his home in Sarasota. He still hasn't moved back.
We didn't think anything was going to happen, and now we're over prepping, hopefully, so nothing will happen.
Flooding again is a big concern, says Ian Allen, whose home also flooded during Debbie.
Our drainage ditches are pretty full, so they haven't been cleaned out yet, to be completely honest with you. So we're making sure we're safe this time.
Sarasota County says sandbag operations are far busier than normal ahead of Helene. For NPR News, I'm Carrie Sheridan in Sarasota.
The state of Missouri has executed a man whom prosecutors had come to believe was innocent. The U.S. Supreme Court rejected last-minute requests to stay the execution, even though the prosecutor's office had filed a motion to vacate the man's conviction. St. Louis Public Radio's Rachel Lippman has followed the case.
Marcellus Williams was convicted of the 1998 murder of a former newspaper reporter. There was never any forensic evidence, things like DNA, fingerprints, or hair that connected him to the scene. Police were able to find some belongings of the victim in Williams's car, and he pawned a laptop that belonged to her husband. The conviction was based largely on the testimony of a former girlfriend and a jailhouse informant.
Rachel Lippman reporting. Testing on the knife used as the murder weapon revealed the DNA on it likely belonged to two former employees of the prosecutor's office who handled it, not Williams. In the key swing state of Pennsylvania, early voting is rolling out to more communities this week. As NPR's Hansi Lo Wang reports, Election Day is fewer than 6 weeks away.
Some Pennsylvania counties are sending out mail-in ballots this week to registered voters who asked for them. That includes the Philadelphia suburb of Montgomery County, where officials say the first batch of ballots totaled more than 100,000. Many other counties are still preparing their ballots after legal challenges related to third-party candidates led to delays. To the west of Pennsylvania, election officials in Illinois are getting ready to roll out early voting this Thursday. There's less than 2 weeks until the first state deadlines for registering to vote in the general elections. October 6th is the last date in Alaska and Rhode Island, and October 7th is the final deadline in 11 states, including Arizona and Georgia. Hansi Lo Wang, NPR News.
This is NPR.